Well, look, this has been something which has been ongoing for a long time. Gibraltar was unfairly put on the Spanish blacklist some 35 years ago. Gibraltar has consistently been making the argument that we should not be on that list, that we would be happy to cooperate with the Spanish authorities. In my time in office, we were able to reach a tax agreement with Spain, the international tax agreement between the United Kingdom and Spain in respect of Gibraltar. That agreement provides for the exchange of information between the Gibraltar authorities and the Spanish authorities in a structured way. As a result of that, the Spanish authorities have now accepted that they can no longer continue to describe Gibraltar as an uncooperative jurisdiction. That's what the blacklisting is about, whether the tax authority of a foreign nation is cooperating with yours. If they don't, you call that foreign tax authority a blacklisted authority. We're coming off that list, and the consequences of coming off that list will be hugely important from the point of view of corporate business being done in Gibraltar with Spain and with Spanish financial services companies, and indeed in the context of what we might call ordinary people, working people, who have either the need to have an account in one jurisdiction or the other, or are working in one jurisdiction or the other. And there, of course, primarily you have the rump of people coming from Spain to Gibraltar to work and paying tax in Gibraltar because this is where they work. And because we're blacklisted, they also have to pay double taxation in Spain. When Gibraltar is no longer blacklisted, those people who work in Gibraltar will only be taxed in Gibraltar if their earnings is below a particular threshold, which the last time I checked it was about 60,000 euros. That means that the vast majority of the people who come to Gibraltar to work from Spain will no longer suffer double taxation on their earnings, and it'll be hugely important to them too.
Of course, important as well that it filters down politically, so Gibraltar can no longer be deemed a tax haven, but I mean politically as opposed to the finance centre.
Yes, and that's not something that happens today. This is a process that now takes 30 days. Gibraltar is not the only country that's being removed from the list. There are 5 countries that are being removed from the list, and that removal takes 30 days from the date of publication of the list, which is today. The consequence is politically important, with a small p, in the context of the debate about Gibraltar and the presentation of Gibraltar. It's also hugely important politically in the international financial sphere, when the OECD come to make assessments about Gibraltar, when the FATF come to make assessments about Gibraltar, and dare I say it, when the United Nations comes to make assessments about Gibraltar, because where Spain has been saying in these international tax fora, in these international financial fora, and in the World Forum, which is the United Nations, that Gibraltar is not collaborating in matters relating to taxation, by removing us from their list, what they're saying is they will no longer be making that argument at OECD, FATF, or UN in the context of our removal from this. So this is a process that has been long in coming. The Gibraltar tax authorities have worked very hard to demonstrate to the Spanish authorities, as they do to the tax authorities of all the other nations of the world, in particular those that we have tax information exchange agreements with, that we are a collaborative jurisdiction. I think we've earned our spurs with the world. With Spain, it's taken a little longer. It's been a little harder. There's been all of the prejudice of so many years, but we're trying to now move into a world where that is genuinely the past. And this is one of the first actual demonstrations of us slowly moving into that new approach. But I have no doubt there will be steps backwards as well as steps forwards. This requires that we should be consistent in our approach, that we should ensure that if there are steps backwards, we work forwards again. And I'm not going to look at this through rose-tinted spectacles, but I am very pleased about what has happened today and the process that we are now embarked upon.
Chief Minister, you mentioned the delay, politically difficult for you, because you did say that you were going to walk away if the commitment was not met within the agreed time frame. Was it a reality that with everything that was going on in the background, you had no choice but to hang on, and now on hindsight?
Not at all. I think you are you're wrong to focus it in that way. I didn't say we would walk away. I said that we would give notice under the agreement that Gibraltar would no longer consider itself bound by the tax information exchange agreement with the Kingdom of Spain if Spain didn't perform on its obligations under the agreement. In that period, we've seen a lot of political events occur, and it's been put to me that the moment might not be propitious for the Spanish government to be taking a particular step at a particular time, that it could be negative for the Spanish government, and nobody in Gibraltar would want to see Gibraltar form part of any step that might enable a government that is most likely to be more overtly aggressive towards Gibraltar, have an opportunity to get closer to power in Spain, and therefore it's been a very difficult balancing act. That's what you pay me to do the balancing act and to deliver the result, and to suffer the criticism if all that my political opponents can say is that an unexpected result is delivered, but it's delivered a little later than one might have wished. Well, look, this is something that many people will think they would never have seen in their lifetimes. Gibraltar actually removed from this list of uncollaborative jurisdictions. If it took a little longer, we worked very hard to deliver great steps forwards. Miracles will leave to those who say they will be able to deliver them.